What's going on? What's going on, gang? It's your boy Robbie, and I'm back with another react. I'm about to be cranking them out one by one. So this one's gonna be coming from Poetic Flacco. Godfrey loses all his fans after betraying Black Americans in new pod. I seen this video, I had it saved to my watch later. I was curious to see what's going on. I'm not aware, I'm out the loop with this. Now, Godfrey is definitely a legend in my book when it comes to comedy and things like that. I mean, when it comes to impressions, he's like bar none one of the best. So this here is definitely a shocker. I'm not sure what it is that he did, but we about to find out. Let's get to this video.
A large number of Godfrey fans are really upset at him, and they're turning on him after this recent interview with a Nigerian actor called David Oyelowo. In this episode, they discussed the sport wars currently going on social media. Now, the actor is Nigerian, born in Nigeria, grew up in the UK. However, he was afforded the luxury to play roles like MLK and other roles that Black Americans felt like belonged to Black American actors. So the clips of them discussing him playing MLK and the backlash he received for playing Black American roles went viral on social media. And when it went viral, essentially what they said triggered a lot of Black Americans, and it caused an uproar. And a lot of Godfrey fans are pissed off at him for this conversation.
Way better and way more powerful together than we are apart.
Yes.
And I truly think so much of that mindset is born out of insecurity. You never see them coming after a Brit playing that kind of role when it's a failure. It's only when it's a success. If there's box office and if there's awards, then is the time where you go, I want a piece of that. Well, let's collaborate. So that's why I get everyone to the house. Where we have those conversations. Andre Holland, brilliant actor, trained. Coleman Domingo, brilliant. I've seen that dude on stage. The success he's being afforded is absolutely warranted. It's the work.
Here's the problem that I identified. Because Tariq Nasheed and his crew are a loud minority, that whenever a non-Black American gets fair critique from Black Americans, they automatically identify that critique with Tariq Nasheed and his crew, so they dismiss the critique, even though it's a fair critique. And I don't think that's fair, because I don't think the majority of Black Americans identify with Tariq Nasheed and his philosophy. I don't think the majority of Black Americans believe if you are a baby and you're born in Africa, you're born musty. I don't think that like there's not a sentiment from the Black Americans I speak to. The Black Americans I speak to will hear some nonsense like that and they will get pissed off and they will get upset because that's bigotry at its finest, right? But when they give fair critique, they automatically identify that critique with Tariq Nasheed, so then they dismiss it. When no, right? Black Americans just don't want a non-Black American playing Martin Luther King Jr. MLK is a Black American hero. They hold his legacy really sacred. And they just don't want anybody who's not Black American playing Martin Luther King Jr. I feel like that's a fair critique, and that critique should not just be dismissed or thrown to the side or grouped in with the bigotry that belongs on the other, right? Because the majority of Black Americans don't agree with whatever's going on over there, but they can say that, yeah, we believe MLK and his legacy is sacred, and we don't want anybody else playing MLK but us. And I feel like that's fair. But much of what I heard from this dude is essentially him dismissing that, him trying to talk above him, and being a tad bit condescending. Bro really said it's rooted in jealousy. I don't think they jealous of you.
I don't know if it's me and somebody else, and there's somebody in the comments let me know, but it seems like there are a lot of Africans that end up moving to like the UK and things like that, and they develop their accent and stuff like that. Is it just me? I mean, you got that guy, Sloan. He's an artist that I follow. If y'all don't know Sloan, very dope artist. He's Nigerian born, but grew up in, I think, Britain. He's British. Who else? There's some others I can't think of right now, but yeah, that's just something that I noticed a lot.
Bro, they just don't want you playing MLK or any other Black American heroes.
And I was looking for community. And to be perfectly honest, I met a lot of African American actors who, as I started to gain a bit of success, I could tell they felt threatened by my presence, by what I was being afforded that they felt they should be
That
being
belonged to
afforded.
them. Oh, man.
And
Where's
I
that?
was terrified because I had just now been afforded the opportunity to play Oprah Winfrey and Forrest Whitaker's son in The Butler. It was a very juicy role. And I stood there, Cuba Gooding's over there, Terrence Howard's over there, like all these actors. And I was just like, oh boy, am I gonna be okay?
Y'all see what I mean, though? He dismissed any and all critique as jealousy. Now, I do believe things like MLK, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, like a Ghanaian playing Farrakhan is crazy. It's Farrakhan. But if we're talking about the general role, any American-speaking English roles, if we're saying that a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, a Caribbean, a black guy from the UK, if we're saying that they are not even allowed to ever be in Hollywood or to ever exist, now that's wrong. But there should be room to have this discussion. Hey, we allow y'all to eat, y'all doing y'all thing, but let's not.
Y'all notice something? You know, I noticed this in the sports industry as well. You know, all of these industries pretty much are in sync with each other. They all move at the same sound of the drum in a way, because you're seeing the same thing in the sports industry. In the NBA, they're going to get players overseas, you know what I'm saying, to play ball. And I don't know if it's just because maybe they treat the sport or they treat these industries a little bit different than us American-born people. Maybe they feel like, look, you know, we come from nothing and this is an opportunity that we don't want to squander. So we're going to play lights out. You know, we're going to ball till we fall. You know what I mean? Same thing with the actresses and actors. Like, we are going to make you cry, you know, at the end of that movie when it's time to leave. So that's something that I just noticed, that the music industry, well, the music industry, not really too much, but definitely sports and movies. Like, I'm noticing that trend.
Let's not start poaching movie roles like Farrakhan, Malcolm X, MLK, things that are sacred to our culture. Let's not do that. Right? Because, again, like, the Nigerian would have the same backlash and the same critique if a black American goes to Nigeria and get like a really coveted role in Nollywood, and, you know, they're made to play like a Nigerian president or somebody. Nigerians will be the first one to tell you, man, now hell no, what you mean? And if he's honest, he will tell you, bruh, a black American can't go to Nigeria and play like a coveted Nigerian role of like a historical Nigerian figure. They not having it. They'll be the first one to tell you, hell nah. So yeah, that should be the same thing. Like, black Americans should have the, you know, the space to say, MLK, these other sacred roles is for us, not for you. But I also don't think they should also be barred from any and all roles, period, you know? Now, they got to the Drewski skit where Drewski made fun of, like, the British actors who like, take on American roles. Now, he said he found the skit funny, but you could tell from his explanation, he ain't find a goddamn thing funny about that Drewski skit whatsoever.
If we link arms like Jewish people do, like Chinese people do,
hell yeah.
like, if we do that rather than fixating on the fact that, yeah, we have a smaller piece of the pie, we do. And as a result, when a black Brit gets that role, what we're talking about is not acting. We're not talking about the art of acting. We're talking about scarcity. We're talking about the fact that there's not much pie. So when someone gets it, it's like, you're now taking a piece that makes me feel like I can't access that piece.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that with white British actors in the Hollywood constellation, because the pie is vast.
So do you think like when Drewski goes out there and he does that whole skit that's gone viral, it's funny.
Yeah.
Where he's the British guy, he goes out there. And does that kind of add fuel to the fire? Because, I mean, it's a thing. You're starting to hear more and more of it.
Yeah.
And it's why we started 154. Like, it's to bring all of it. It's one continent, 54 countries, but really it's bigger. It's one diaspora that's centered around who we are as people. But yet there's these micro fractures of, but they're from the UK, or they're from, you know, they're immigrants from Africa.
Yeah. My thing is, I have adopted the stance of, I have to let my work do the talking. There's many things in the world that I don't like, that I don't agree with, but my answer to that,
To the Drewski
thing, is to start a streaming platform with an African American like Nate Parker.
They looking too deep into it. The Drewski thing was jokes. It was a skit about how British actors on camera, they would act like the biggest LA gang member, then off camera, they like straight, you know, pip pip cheerio, and you feel me? Like it's hilarious, yo. Here's the thing, bro. We gotta find a way as immigrants to distinguish between jokes and bigotry. Straight up, bro. The Drewski thing is a joke. Sitting there doing a 30-page dissertation on why.
I mean, I get what Podik is saying, but we also have to realize too that there's a lot of pain inside of comedy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you'll hear that from like a lot of comedians when they tell jokes. A lot of that is centered around pain that they've witnessed and had to deal with. And so they express it in the form of jokes. So that situation with Drewski acting that out, that is obviously something that resonates with people here back in the States who are in the acting industry that want to get that role that's going to send them to the Oscars, to the Academy Awards and things like that. And somebody from across the pond gets it, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm not one that's going to sit up here and say that, oh, no, they shouldn't get the role. They shouldn't get the role. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I understand their stance, those people who are from the States like myself, like, but like he said, the pie's not that damn big. It's a small pie. We have a very small piece of that pie. So when they're out there scouting, looking for the next actor for a certain role, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just they feel like American-born actors just don't take the craft serious. Same thing with sports, like I said, with basketball. Maybe they feel like kids born in America, they don't take basketball as serious because they're just in it for the money. Who knows?
The Drewski thing is harmful towards this, and how you gotta let your work speak for yourself, and you gotta rise above the hatred and rise above the critique. It was a skit, homie. It was a skit. You gotta distinguish between the jokes and the bigotry. I can show you some bigotry. I can show you some bigotry, bro. Go on Twitter and just scroll. You gonna see real bigotry. But the humor and we can't mix up the two. We just can't, bro. We just can't, man. Drewski did a funny skit. The skit should be held there. Now, real bigotry is an African braiding shop doing something that, that was wrong and appalling. And then Tariq Nasheed and other content creators start this whole boycott all African businesses. The white men do something. We ain't never seen boycott all white businesses, but boycott all African businesses because one African business did something. The Drewski skit is humor. Real bigotry is saying that an entire group of people shouldn't be able to make a living and feed their families and start a business, and they want those businesses shut down because they belong to an immigrant group. That's real bigotry. That's wrong. Real bigotry, not a Drewski skit, is creating a racial slur for an entire group of people and then spamming that racial slur. That's real bigotry. Yo, trust me, yo. I had to figure out what was humor and what was real. I got a lot of pushback and a lot of backlash from, my family, people from where I'm from, my community telling me, hey, bro, you doing interviews with this dude? What you doing, bro? He don't rock. I said, nah, it's humor, bro. Nah, bro, he don't hate immigrants, bro. It's humor. And boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Because, I had my cousin Alvin send me something. He said, bro, it's just humor, right? Look at this. I said, hey, I can't make an excuse for that, bro.
Got to clear your name. Got to clear your name with your family because they listen, man, what are you doing dealing with the likes of this person or that person? Hey, man, it's a crazy, crazy, world that we live in, especially on the internet. So it's you got to be mindful of the company you keep.
I just can't, man. I can't. I don't know, bruh. So you got to be able to distinguish humor from bigotry. Drewski ain't no bigot, bro. Yo, bro, Drewski is a comedian, man. Trust me, I had to do the same thing, bruh. Yo, there was somebody, and this is like an OG on YouTube, bruh. Now, again, I'll never diss this person. I'll never disrespect this person. Like, I'll never say nothing bad about this person because, yo, this person really helped me out. They hopped on the phone with me, gave me a free consultation, walked me through how to build my channel, gave me like the systems, and I applied that to grow. So I would never, ever, ever say nothing bad about this person. I was just heartbroken and really, really, really hurt, bro. Because, again, like I don't know if this person helped me out before he found out I was African, or I don't know if he would help me if he knew I was African, but I watched a video where this person is essentially like going along with all the harmful rhetoric that this other guy has about people who's from where I'm from. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, they can't help that they were born here. They don't, like they don't choose who their parents are. They were born here and they're trying to make a better life for themselves. And the fact that you're supporting this dude who's saying that those people don't have a right to have a business, to operate their business, and they need to be boycotted and shut down because somebody from the same country as them did something wrong is bad and is foul and is not cool. And is not cool and is not okay. And then, and the person that I have respect for said that that person is above critique. That person should never be questioned, should never be critiqued. And I'm like, damn, right is right and wrong is wrong, right? Like, if that person did something wrong, say what they did is wrong, right? Like, no human being is above critique at all, especially when it comes to something as harmful and hateful as what that person is doing. And that's the OG that I had love for. And to see him take that stance, it broke me and it hurt me, bro. Like, bro, like, it hurt me deep, homie. Like, I was hurt. And then
I could tell this must really be bothering Podik, man. You know what I'm saying? I know this was about the whole British thing and stuff like that, but he really went off on a tangent here. I hope he's doing all right. That must have really struck a nerve with him.
It was one of those things where I said, damn. Like, I guess like you don't know people's hearts and people's feelings until you hear it. And to hear that, bro, it broke me, bro. Like it really hurt me deep down inside. But still in all, like, I still have to recognize who's a bigot and who's not. What's harmful and what's jokes. And in this situation, Drewski is not a harmful human being. He's not a bigot. It's just jokes. Treat it as jokes. Doing all of this for Drewski is crazy, right? Now, they continued, and this is where you kind of really get to see, like, the mistake they're making, is because they talked about, like, Tariq Nasheed and his crew, like the FBAs, and, like, they broke down, like, this critique that we're getting about, like, Black British actors and immigrant groups coming over here and taking roles, this is from that group. And I feel like that's the mistake. They're dismissing everything and all the valid critiques and all the fair criticism because they believe it's coming from Tariq Nasheed and his crew. And I'm here to tell them, no. The criticism is fair. Associating all criticism from Black Americans as coming from Tariq Nasheed and his crew of people is not cool. No. They have every right to feel away. And it's not your job to be condescending or tell the offended party not to be offended. They are offended. Find out why they are offended and try to have a real conversation. But they completely dismiss it because they believe that Tariq Nasheed and his crew speaks for all Black Americans.
When you look at Black Panther, it is Chadwick and it is Michael B, but it's also Daniel Kaluuya and Letitia Wright.
That's right.
That's what it looks like when it goes supernova.
Yeah.
Ryan understands that. Ryan Coogler called me before he was about to make a Black Panther because he knew I had connection to the culture that he was about to show in his film. And he humbly asked advice. Because he needed me, I need him, Michael the same. Like I was with Michael the other day. Those of us who get it, we are sharing in the way that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Casey Affleck and George Clooney and Brad Pitt. You think that success is based on them being silos? Absolutely not. They are sharing secrets. They are sharing strategy. They are sharing films with each other, which is what I tried to do with Bass Reeves, bringing in people who are like, yeah, you don't know them, but I do.
No.
You know, I don't think he's wrong in saying that. I mean, that's a good spin on it. And it makes a lot of sense that, you know, when you look at other cultures, they are interconnected. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what side of the pond you're on. You know what I'm saying? If you look like me, you are me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get what he's saying. It's like, listen, I might not have necessarily grew up in America and, you know, been a part of that culture, but, you know, I do know this, and this is something that I could bestow upon you, my knowledge of this culture that I'm a part of and things like that, in the same way that you can teach me and we can come together as one and stuff like that. So I definitely agree with him on that part, you know?
Now, if you are telling me that how dare I spend 10 years trying to get Bass Reeves made? How dare I bring Ava DuVernay to come in and direct Selma and get that film? If that's what you're saying, think about that for a moment. Just think about what may not exist if you don't have people who are, dare I say it, built different. Like Ava is built different. Coleman is built different. Ryan is built different. There are people, Idris Elba is built different in relation to actually getting stuff made. Now, if you're going to begrudge that, rather than go, let me reach out and figure out what are Nate and David doing over there, and how do we? What is this diaspora embracing notion that you guys are talking about, as opposed to me now beginning to internalize some kind of ridiculous what do they call ADOS or whatever?
That's
like
my traditional black.
But it proliferates.
Yeah, it does.
It proliferates. You look at what is happening with nationalism. You know, the rise of the Reform Party in the UK. You look at why we have some of the political circumstances we have here in America. It starts like this. It starts with people feeling empowered and gathering around negativity that gives them some kind of identity.
And now, when this hit the timeline, boy, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, I gotta give it up to my Black American brothers, man. Y'all gave them folks everything they asked for, man. Somebody says, is it not insecure to want to see ourselves and our icons depicted authentically? This man did not fit the roles of MLK or Bass Reeves, and he should be able to receive that feedback like an adult. I agree, yo. Again, it's fair criticism. This is not hateful to say, hey, bro, you shouldn't play MLK. Like you aren't a Black American. We want our people to play our heroes. These roles are sacred. Andrea Marie says, Black American historical figures are the only roles his African behind can play that are noteworthy, and he wants to disrespect Black Americans? Somebody says, that's a poor response to the concerns of the people group he is portraying on film. And yes, the actors such as himself are worth discussing, but who is casting them instead of Black Americans? We need to have that discussion. I agree. Again, bro, this is like one.
Well, again, I truly think that it's just something that is going on behind the scenes with those that are the ones rolling the curtain back. You know what I'm saying? Again, same thing with the sports industry and basketball and maybe some other sports that I'm not too fond with or whatever. I don't really see it too much with football. But like I said, in the NBA, I mean, think of all the players, Jokic, Luka Doncic. And this isn't to say we haven't had foreign players in the past, but you see a lot more of that now than ever before. So same thing with the movie industry. And I'm not saying that they should be doing that. I mean, yeah, MLK should probably be played by somebody who is from America because they would understand the dynamic of it because of the culture and growing up here and stuff like that. Now, being an actor, you could live here and stuff like that But it's just different when you were raised here. You feel me? And being in the school system and stuff like that and experiencing those experiences that the likes of MLK and people of his time may have been going through. You feel me? So I can understand how, Black Americans may feel like, yo, we should be the ones playing these historical roles. You know what I'm saying? Because if the shoe were on the other foot, they wouldn't let us play a Nigerian or somebody from Cape Town or whatever the case is, or, country over there in Africa, whatever. They wouldn't allow that. So I get it.
1.2 million views on this clip, and the entire clip is them just tearing him up. I'm talking about tearing him. Now, some of the comments I can't even read, right? So this is bad. Even if you go to the episode, like the Godfrey episode, they're on his behind. They're telling, bro, Godfrey, like, people are stunned at Godfrey because they're like, bro, Godfrey, you're somebody who we expect to give pushback on these type of issues. Somebody says, David needs to make a film about how the WS Americans recently invaded and bombed Nigeria. Classic straw man, red herring. I think he's missing the point. So people are very upset and over this clip, and I agree. They have every reason to be upset because you have to find a way to distinguish between fair criticism and true bigotry. And this is fair criticism. People being upset that you are playing MLK should not make you. You should be able to address it like a real adult. But let me know in the comments.
It's gonna be the end of the video. Yeah, I mean, he should probably do a better job at taking constructive criticism and just understanding people's stance when it comes to British people, British blacks, playing roles of Black Americans, historical figures and stuff like that. As far as Godfrey is concerned, I don't think this is, worth, not watching his podcast or anything like that, or like he's just canceled or anything like that. I don't think it's that at all. You know what I'm saying? They're just having a conversation. It's a conversation, and it should be left at that. It's a conversation. We can agree to disagree. We can have these talks and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we aren't the ones controlling the narrative. We're not the ones that's pulling back the curtain that's got the lights in the studio. We're not the ones doing that. It's the unseen. So, yeah, we can't get too mad. About it. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure y'all check the like button, take the subway, and be sure to sound off in them comments until they kick your asses out. That being said, it's your boy Robbie. Until the next video, we out of here.